Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will explain about this topic. Why so many Japanese people cannot speak English even though they start to learn it from elementary school to high school. So in this time, I researched that through a few websites which are related to my topic. Here is a table of contents that I talk about today. First, the current situation. Second, the reasons why Japanese people cannot speak English. Third, other problems. Fourth, solutions. Fifth, conclusion and final thoughts. And the last one is references. Okay, so I move to the next page. The first is current situation about English proficiency of Japanese people. According to the Rakuten survey, the 1,000 people answered. It was found that only 8.7% of Japanese people are good at English. In other words, there is even no 1 in 10 Japanese people who can speak English. This survey was conducted in 2016, so the results may be slightly different compared to today. But it's a known fact that Japanese are not good at English. As additional information, the topic can be seen sometimes on TV or news programs for a long time, but the situation is not much different. As a developed country in the midst of globalization, I believe Japanese people will need to have some English proficiency. So in this presentation, I'd like to explain why Japanese people cannot speak English and some solution for that. The second is the reasons why Japanese people cannot speak English. This is because there is a problem with English education in Japan. I believe this is the biggest reason why they cannot speak English, and also I have found the 4 main causes. Firstly, English is a necessary subject for passing exams, such as high school and university entrance exams for Japanese students. So they often have an opportunity to learn English words and phrases regarding specific field or specialized content, which are not useful in daily conversation. English education in Japan is based on textbook, so as students get older, they become able to write and read long essays in English, but they lack the ability to communicate with native speakers because they haven't learned practical English skills. Secondly, Japanese schools mostly focus on reading and writing to pass exams, so they lack of opportunities for output. Although they have a wealth of knowledge about English, they don't have the opportunity to actually use and speak English. So their English skills don't improve even if they study hard. This incorrect English study makes Japanese people's English proficiency low compared to other countries. Therefore, it's not that Japanese cannot speak English, but that they cannot speak English because they don't have the opportunities to speak English. In other words, if they create opportunities to output as much as they input, Japanese people's English ability will improve. Thirdly, Japanese people don't practice pronunciation. Many of you have probably thought that you cannot understand what English speakers are saying at all, or that you cannot hear what they are saying. This happens because of lack of listening skills. As mentioned before, Japanese students don't have the opportunity to actually use English on a daily basis because they learn English based on textbook, and this has been shown to result in poor listening skills as well as speaking skills. And one key to improving listening skill is to practice pronunciation. you cannot listen to a word or a phrase you cannot pronounce. So you should spend a lot of time practicing your pronunciation. English is read by connecting individual sounds, not clearly pronouncing them as in Japanese. So you need to gradually get your ears used to it. Lastly, there are few faculty members are native speakers or have an overseas experience, so it's very difficult to teach real English to students in Japan. Recently, there are opportunities for native English teachers called ALT to teach classes, but Japanese teachers usually teach classes. It's said that Japanese English teachers have a low level and little overseas experience, and it's believed it affects Japanese English skills. As other information, I explained the 3 reasons. First is Japanese people can live without using English because there are few opportunities to interact with foreigners in daily life. Many people don't consider English is necessary for them. Second is English is very different from Japanese. Japanese and English have opposite grammar and the pronunciation is very different. Because of that, there are a lot of people who are stressed about learning English. The last one is Wasei Eigo or Japanese-made English words are also another factor that hinders English language improvement for Japanese people. The next content is about solutions to improve their English skills. The most effective way to solve the problem is the Japanese government needs to change its English education system. They need to change the old English education into a new one. For example, creating more opportunities for output or focusing on daily conversation. In my opinion, I've never learned casual English such as slang at school, so I think if they incorporate such an educational method, students will be more motivated to study English. It's also recommended to use English conversation cafes and English conversation apps as other methods. In particular, the English conversation apps is easy to use in spare time and there are various apps, so it will be useful for improving your English skills. As a conclusion, I'd like to share the 2 things. First is daily English is as important as English for exams. There is a difference between English used at school and English used in society. So it's necessary for students to make effort to improve their communication skills for the times. Second is English is a communication tool. It's not a study subject. That is the most important mindset when learning English. The references used in this presentation are listed on this page. This is all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention to the end.